Hello, fellow Riblets. It's me, Tom from Target Prime Rib. How you doing on this special day? Today's Wednesday and today's interview day. So we're interviewing a special guest, Helen, All for Jesus Carnivore. So I'm going to actually let her tell most, do most of the speaking because this is her story, not mine, and this is her time. So um, I hope you guys are sitting back. I hope you guys have your coffee or whatever you need. And just a second. Sorry if you guys are hearing an echo. I had the YouTube also on. Sorry about that. So I'm excited to see all you guys here. And without further ado, let's bring on Helen. Hello, Helen.
Hi. Hello, friends.
Can you hear me? Hi. How you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm doing great.
So we got a few people on the chats right now. We got Jill K.
Hey, Jill.
We have Granny Boo too.
Hi.
Lisa's here.
Hey,
Terry B,
Lisa.
which is Teresa. We all know Teresa.
Hi,
And
Teresa.
Bacon Baby.
Hey,
So
Bacon Baby. I like that
what a
name.
perfect name for a carnivore, right?
Yes, definitely.
So how are things going for you?
It's going great. I want to say thank you so much for bringing me here on this live
Um,
today.
there- it's
Thanks for
such an
everybody that's
excitement.
here. Yes.
What was that?
Thanks for everybody
Okay.
that's here at the live. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I'm sure it's well, it doesn't actually say how many people are actually here. Normally, the other streaming service I use will tell you like how many people are in the chat in the views. So that's actually good because it's good to be surprised, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
so um so like I like to I see it right now. It's 9 people according to the thing. So there's always a few people watching. They don't really go into. They kind of stay in the background a little bit.
Yeah.
So or at least don't make the comments. Let's put it more that way. So we've been waiting all this time for your story and everything. And the last time I had my live, it was with Amy Haas, which was pretty exciting as well.
It was
So
fun.
I'm,
It
I'm
was.
getting really good. I'm getting really good people coming on here, and so it's pretty exciting. Once I upgrade my system, then I'll actually maybe do it more often than 2 weeks every month. So so I'm gonna put it out to you because this is your day, this is your time, and that's what this whole thing is for. It's to allow people to big and small, and no one's really small. So but newer experience, whatever you want to call it, to tell their stories, and to just, you could do it any way you want. You could tell like why you went carnivore. You could tell the best things that have happened to you. Like whatever floats your boat. That's what my grandfather used to say. So I'm going to just sit in the sidelines and we'll conversate. But I'll sit in the sidelines and this is your forum.
All
So
right. I do enjoy questions and kind of keeps me focused. If there's any questions that come up,
yes, please, people, and I'll try to keep eyeing them.
I can stop my jabbering because once I start, I don't know how to stop. All right. Well, I started carnivore almost 15 months ago, and the reason why I started it was because of the constant pain I had in my body, and I had a few autoimmune diseases over the years, and there was nothing the doctors can do about except just giving me more and more pills. And there was basically I was living on pain pills. Any kind of pain pills you think of, I've taken it. And so it was 15 months ago, and I was in so much pain. And it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was sick. I literally was sick and tired of being alive. And I was feeling inside of me, like in my body, in my skin, I was expiring. I don't know how else to explain it, but my body was dying. And I can feel it, and I knew it. So the word I could say, 2 words, I was helpless and hopeless. There was nothing that I could think of that was going to help me out. So I remember laying down right here on this little day bed in my RV that I made, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I would lay down on my right side, it would hurt. I would lay down on my left side, I would hurt. My hips would hurt, my neck will hurt, my back, shoulders, my knees. I mean, it was just that there was pain everywhere. And so I just set up like this, like right now, and I'm like, well, before I set up, I've just put my hands up like that and said, please, God, help me. And it was such a cry of, from deep down inside of me, every cell in my body was crying for help. And then I just set up like this. From the pain, I couldn't lay down anymore. And I'm sitting like this. I grabbed my phone off the table and I just went to YouTube, and all of a sudden Carrie Mann's video comes up out of nowhere. I've never heard of Carrie Mann. I've never heard of carnivore. I've never heard of, eating meat alone. And it was right at that one video where he is tossing a basket of pill bottles behind his back, and that caught my attention. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? So I kept watching and just sitting like this, just listening to my pain. And this is the only thing that's kind of getting my attention off of the pain. And kept watching. I must have watched at least 2 or 3 videos. And then I was kind of tired. But that thought of eating meat and what he was talking, I couldn't grasp everything because I had such horrible brain fog. All I know, he's talking about just eating meat and salt and water, and he had this and that and that and that, and it's all dissolved, and it's dissolving, and his fat is going away and his body is changing. And I'm like, I keep downloading those, whatever bits and pieces that I can get from what he's saying. And then the next day I get up and those thoughts are in my head, and then the YouTube algorithm started sending me more videos about carnivore. Dr. Ken Berry, I remember he came on, and I watched a couple of his, and then Anthony Chafee and a couple other things, and I kept watching. Within 3 days I was convinced that this is something I have to try. And so I went to the store, bought up tons of meat, whatever I could look at, and that looked good to me. Bacon, eggs, butter, and came home and cooked a bunch of bacon. I cooked a boiled bunch of eggs, and then I had some meat, But it was so strange to me because I've eaten vegetables all my life like a rabbit. I loved vegetables. I had 3 different blenders sitting on my counter that I made all kind of green juices and green smoothies, and I had all these bags of powders all sitting, like moringa powder, beetroot powder, 4 different kind of mushroom powders, kale powder, all organic. I had bought a bunch of them, and I just take a spoon from this and spoon from this and just put them in the blender with a bunch of spinach. I would buy those big salad mixes that are already ready, and I would just take a bunch of that, put it in a blender and add all that stuff. That's every morning. So the more I did of that stuff, the sicker I got, seems like. And I was 59 years old, and I felt like I was living in a body of a 90, 100 years old. And I'm like, this is so not normal. I'm not even 60 years old. Why am I feeling this way? The food was not tasting good anymore. Even my taste buds were gone. My smell was gone. My eyes kept getting worse and worse with like double vision and blurry vision, and my eyelids were so all around my eyes were so inflamed that my eyelids would be so heavy in the morning. I would literally have to rub them in the morning in order to open my eyes. And I'm like, this is so not normal. You know, the state of being hopeless and helpless. It's so discouraging to start the day that way. Anyways, so I bought all that stuff. I made a bunch of ready to grab food. And then I start binging on videos, how to be prepared and how to do this and how to do that. And I'm like, and I'm trying to just get as much as I can from the videos and from the people that are talking. And so that's basically how I started. But within like the first week, I felt better. I felt something was changing inside of me, but I cannot put my fingers on it. It was just so much change from all of my body to where I'm like, I feel different. One of the biggest thing was that I slept through the night, straight through the night without waking up, not once, because I would wake up 2 to 3 times every night and go to the bathroom and come back, and I couldn't go to sleep. Number one, from the pain. Number two, whatever sleep there was, it's already gone, you know, and my body's all wide awake with pain and all that. And that dreadful feeling, I don't know if you guys are listening, you know what that dreadful feeling is, that it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and you can't go to sleep, 3 o'clock in the morning and you're exhausted, tired.
Yeah.
You're just not able to get rest. So I felt, you know, a whole night I did not wake up. I wake up in the morning. I wasn't like energetic and everything, but I felt good. I'm like, it feels so right to sleep all night long and wake up in the morning. And I'm looking around and there's like, my body is not so painful. It's not so agitated. And it's not so, what's the word? Like exhausted, you know, from not having that rest. It's not completely perfect, you know, but it's resting,
right,
kind of. So then a few days later, I'm brushing my teeth and I know every day there was bleeding gums. My gum bled all years. I mean, I don't know for how long. So it was normal just to look at the brush and see the blood on my brush. And then when you rinse your mouth to spit blood. And I'm like, my gums are not bleeding. This is, and so I pick up the mirror, you know, and I'm looking, it's like, what's different? What's, you know?
Right.
And it felt right because then I always had like some pain, like just, it wasn't really hard, like really strong pain, but there was always some pain around my gums, around my jaws, sometimes in my ear. I would wake up with that kind of pain, but I just ignored it because it was just, I just thought it was normal. I've had it for so many years. So I'm like, this feels good. It's not hurting. They're not bleeding. And then another thing that I would wake up myself every night was snoring. I literally snored so loud, I would wake myself up.
Well,
and
that's bad.
I hear myself like that is like, and I hear myself and I wake myself up. So I don't think I snore anymore, but I might someday put a video. But
put like a camera right there in your room. Yeah.
So I haven't been waking up at all. You know, I sleep through the night. It's been 15 months. I mean, there's still some days that I would wake up, but it was when I was going through oxalate dumping. So that's when, like, about 3 or 4 weeks into that, then I started seeing, like, up here, I would see like both sides, 2 patches of red little, you know, pimples, like rashes up here. I would get rashes around, my armpits here. And then I would get rashes on top of my hand, arms like that. I would get rashes behind my knees, around my ankles. And I'm like, what is this? I've always had rashes, but this was not just any rashes like I've had
It was
before.
pretty extensive, right?
Yeah. And they would be really itchy and uncomfortable. And then I would itch them. And then it seems like there was like little sandy, gritty stuff coming out of, and I kind of didn't think, I thought maybe this is crazy if I tell people I got sand coming out of my body. You know what I mean? I start watching Sally Kmart.
Yeah, that would probably be a little problematic. I get that.
Yeah, and other people.
Like, doctor, I got sand coming out of my body. What do I do?
Yeah, and then I started having them coming out of my eyes. They would get so gluey, like somebody opened my eyes and put dots of glue in my eyes.
So were you oxalate dumping then? Is that what that was? Okay.
They were.
I mean, you were leading to that, and I figured that out. Yeah.
Oh, they were so bad. And then pretty soon, I would start getting them out of my gums, and I would be just sitting there. And I'm like, like you're sitting there, and you feel like, what is this behind my teeth? And I go like that, and I'll get the mirror. It's like there's little petty sins, like when you eat an egg and there was a little bit of the shell, the stain in there. It's like, ooh, that's gritty stuff, That's how I get them from my gums. And so then after I learned about oxalate dumping and heard people like, oh, that's what it is. I'm having oxalate dumping. And then I had it a couple of times where it was so bad. It was the worst flu symptoms, but it wasn't totally flu. I knew, it was so painful. It was debilitating pain all the way from my head, all the way my body aches, and it was some kind of feeling like something was squeezing out of my body. It was strangest pain. And I remember it's like, and my breathing was really bad too. I'm like, I need to either go to ER or do something. And I honestly just, usually when things like that happen, I just like, please God, do something about it, because I don't like to go to doctors. And I just said that prayer, and then I just got on YouTube, and I'm like looking through, carnivore video, whatever, and all of a sudden I come across Sally K. Norton, and she's talking about oxalate dumping. And I just started watching, and she's like, if you're having this kind of symptoms, you're probably having oxalate dumping, and this is the only way to stop it. I'm like, what? So I crawled to the stove, and I have green tea. I still have it here, green tea and black tea. And I made some strong tea, and I started sipping on it. And within a couple hours, and she's right. She said, as soon as it goes in your bloodstream, your brain will get a signal that, okay, we need to stop this oxalate dumping, because there's lots of oxalate in the bloodstream. And I really believe that. So as soon as I start sipping on it, and then all of a sudden my symptoms started to subside, and I was able to function. It took a couple days before I was better and able to get up and do things. But once it was done, oh my stars, it felt amazing. It was such lighter feeling I had in my body. It just, something like it got cleansed, something like it went away that was like holding my body like tight, I remember those parts of my shoulders, they would be so hard like a rock. I would tell my kids, put this bone in this muscle and push as hard as you can, because they were like tight. And now I'm feeling, after every oxalate dumping, seems like these will get a lot softer. And I'm like, that pain is not there anymore, you know? And I would push on it, and it's like it feels so much softer, and I can literally like dip my fingers into this muscle. Then this side of my neck was frozen for years. It like I couldn't put my head like past like this. Now I'm going all the way. Oh wow, this muscle is working. It is not tight anymore, you know. So things like that started happening, and that feeling of helplessness and hopelessness, it's almost started alleviating, you know, day after day after day after day. Now, I didn't think anything of losing weight. I mean, I know a lot of people were saying, oh, don't get on the scale, because a lot of people are doing it for weight. For me personally, it was like, I just want to get my life back. I just want to live pain free. Not even all the way, as long as half of this pain go away, as long as I'm able to sleep a couple hours straight, you know, 2-3 hours straight without waking up, you know.
Get your life back, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I just needed some relief. And so I kept on it and kept on it. And then I kept hearing people saying, trust the process. Even if you don't see any changes, even if your weight is not moving, trust the process. Trust the process. And even through all those days when it was so hard, because at first there were days like I was so my brain was so foggy. I couldn't think of the next thing to do. And I think a lot of that detoxing was adding, you know, to my brain fog, you know, but it didn't get better until like 2-3 days later or a week later, before I was like, oh, okay. And then my moods, they used to be horrible, and now I just would start crying and crying, and I think my body was just so filled and saturated with toxins.
Right.
And little by little I started, you know, cleansing and losing that stuff, and now I'm waking up. I honest to God felt like I've been waking up out of a 50 years coma.
That's fun. We got one question in the chats from Terry B. For you. Helen, thank you for sharing your remarkable story. I wonder what your children's response to these changes have been. So I guess she's asking how your children responded to all the changes that you've been going through.
Okay, so thank you for the question. That's a good question, because it really, that's the crying that I've had. It was very similar to what Jen said. All those years as they were growing up, being in so much pain, being in so much brain fog, being in so much misery, not knowing, you know, my moods were so up and down, up and down. I was there with them, but I was not present with them. I have 2 children. And so our relationship has gotten very, very strained over the past 4 years. And when I look back and I see what has happened, and I'm like, my heart aches for them. They don't communicate with me because of a lot of that stuff, piled up stuff for so many years. In the past 4 years, we don't have a whole lot of communications. I'm hoping things would get better and will work out, because now I see how much they suffer as a result of the poisoning of the food that, you know, they've been exposed to from the time they were born, same as me. And so I've missed out on so much with them. You know, even though I homeschooled, they were with me all the time, but I was not present. I wasn't able to be the mother that they needed me to be, as a result of a lot of all this, you know, pain, moods, imbalance, hormones imbalance. And I have a whole list of things that I've suffered, you know. So
I do apologize. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but we actually, but my side froze, so I had to reboot everything. So,
Okay.
so So hopefully it didn't affect anybody from hearing you, but unfortunately I didn't really hear what you just said. But I'll look at the replay and check and see. So I do apologize on that. It's one of the obstacles of having a crappy computer. Obviously I need to upgrade.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing. Our relationship is not there right now, but I am praying. I know God will work all things for good. That's my faith. That's my hope. And I want them to have the same healing that I've been experiencing the past 15 months. So I'm just hoping someday we will get back and, and work through our problems and all that.
Yeah, well, Terry just said that she heard you, so that's good, because it's more important that they hear your story than, I mean, I want to hear your story too, don't get me wrong, but if I would be devastated if they didn't hear what you had to say, and everything. So, yeah, I mean, like even Mitch, I think he has like a lot of problems, like them understanding about everything. It's amazing how like the people closest to you have a hard time picking up on even the good cues. You have to kind of like hit them over the head with a hammer, like, look at how good I'm doing.
Now my sisters, they kind of, at first they were all against me and everything, but they saw how much I've been improving, and I've lost all my extra weight, and I look better, I feel better. It's like day and night.
You probably sound better too, I'm guessing.
She finally got on carnivore the past 4 months, and she's improved tremendously. My other sister, she started, but she's kind of slow because she has a lot of problems. So it's just like, people, until they see what's happening, sometimes, especially your family members, they don't believe. So
I mean, I always say that people don't hear you, they see you. They're not going to hear you could tell them until you turn blue in the face on like how good you're doing, on how well you're doing, how much better it's going to be for them, blah blah blah. But until they see how good you're doing, and they see that results, see the weight loss, see how much energy you have, how much excitement you have over it,
right,
they're not going to and even that's going to take a while. It might take years before they even respond. But
right,
eventually they will respond, in a lot of times in kind, and a lot of times, like in your case, of doing it themselves.
Yes. Now my older sister, she was scheduled to get a knee surgery in April, and she started 1 month before the knee surgery date. Because I told her, every time she'd call me, it's like, oh, I have to do this, and the doctor told me I have to do this, and they were giving her those shots. They almost killed her. They gave her so many cortisone shots, and one of them literally almost killed her. She ended up in the hospital for 9 days, all inflamed, and I think she was in ICU or something, but she almost died from the cortisone shot he gave her. And so one of the cortisone shots. So I told her, I said, I don't want to hear about all of this anymore. I was so hurt for her. And I said, I've been telling you what works. And she finally got on it. And then it was exactly 1 month before her surgery, her knee surgery. So she went to the hospital to get the knee surgery. Well, they take the x-ray to prepare her for the surgery. And the doctor took her x-ray, and he said, it doesn't look like it needs it. They literally sent her home. This is
wow.
In Germany. They sent her home without a surgery.
Now, how did she, I mean, obviously she talked to you about it. How excited was she when she found she didn't have to get the surgery?
Oh, she is so excited. She's lost at least 35, 40 pounds already. And she's loving her life. So she's like, she will never, ever go back to the poison food. She's 4 years older than me. Her diabetes is really, really improving to where she's gonna do another blood test in like a couple weeks, and the doctor told her, you're probably gonna get off of the medication.
Now, how long has she been carnivore? How long has she been doing this?
She started March.
Oh, okay. But still, I mean, that's about 3 months, right? March,
Yes.
April, May, June. Yeah, 3 months.
Yes.
That's pretty cool, because that's usually like around the time, like the 90 days is around the time that you actually start really seeing. That's when I at least saw the really good results. I mean, you see things before that, like we both have, like little things here and there, but
Yeah.
you really start, like my A1Cs and stuff like that didn't start really improving until the 90 days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's excellent. So she's going to even see more remarkable um, improvements, which is amazing. You must be really happy for her. That's
I am. I am so happy for her. She looks so much younger. She looks so beautiful. And so all her friends like, what's happening to you? You look so pretty. And so now
which is a compliment and insult. It's like, what, I didn't look pretty before? What?
there's something about carnivore. It literally
It
makes
is.
you feel younger. Like I feel I'm 60, but I honestly feel like I'm in my 30s. I've never ever been healthier in all of my life. I don't ever remember having so much good feeling. Like what when they say you need to have peace in your skin inside, feel that peace and
Mhm.
health, and that's how I feel.
You gotta love yourself. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I get loud, but I feel good. I feel right.
Shout out to
I
the rooftops. Yeah.
feel, I mean, this, especially this middle part of my body, I tell everybody when I do interviews, when they do interviews with me, this middle part from, under my ribs to my hip bones, that part of my body is so peaceful. I don't have all these knots and all these. I had fibroid tumors all over my ovaries and uterus, and it was like I had PCOS. It was horrible. I've had pains all my life in that area, and then the digestive system, and then my gallbladder, and then my kidneys. I've ended up in the hospital 4 or 5 times with kidney stones, and the back problems, back pains. It's like I can go on and on and on. I mean, I was telling Dr. What's his name? No, it was Ferrigno. Dante. I was like, if I slice my body, if I go like 3 inches from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, every 3 inches there was some kind of problem. Every 3 inches, like headaches, migraines, and then my eyes, I had double vision and blurry vision. My nose, I had stuffiness, and I all this congestion in my sinus for years and years and years. My ears, I had the tinnitus and the ringing ears. My mouth, I've had all the gum disease, the bleeding gums, the pain in my jaws, my neck, thyroid, Hashimoto, and my muscles in my neck all tied up, my shoulders muscles. It's just like every 3 inch you go down all the way to my feet. I had it all. Plantar fasciitis in my foot that killed me. Gout in my joints of my toes, where I had to wear wider shoes so they don't touch those two big bones because they hurt so bad. The numbness in my feet and tingling, in my hands and feet all night because of diabetes. Like you could, every 3 inches of my body, there was something wrong. And it's gone. I don't know how to explain it, how not to get excited about it. I don't understand how. Sometimes I sit down and I'll be sitting down and it's like, whoa! I get up and jump. I literally, it's like, I can jump. I can, walk for 5 miles.
That's wonderful.
Go run. I started doing jumping jacks, and then at first I started with 10. I ended up doing like 100 within like 2 weeks. I was doing 100 non-stop jumping jacks. It was, and there's no pain. And then I sit down, and then within like 10 minutes, I'm recovered, and I can get up and do it again. So before, there was absolutely no way I could do that. There's no way my neck would hurt. I would do maybe 5, maybe 10 at the most. My knees would feel like they were gonna give up. I had hiatal hernia. I've had this GERD that like the worst heartburn ever, where you have like a big huge rock, like a steel ball sitting right there in the middle of your chest. It won't go up and it won't go down. I couldn't lay down at night. I couldn't stand up completely. I literally had to be over the table, like hunked over like this, just to get that feeling not so painful inside my chest. At 2 o'clock in the morning, at 3 o'clock in the morning. One time I had an avocado. I ended up in the hospital feeling like I was gonna have heart attack. My
From an
gallbladder,
avocado, yeah. Like,
yeah, it was so inflamed that it just like it was horrible. So I it's like, how can I not be excited? How can I not be when I have so much energy now? Like I just get up and go.
I'm blown away.
Yeah, this morning I got up, it's like, okay, within 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, I was already dressed up, and I love to put my makeup on, my earrings on, it's like, and just get up and face the world. You know what I mean? I had a motto before. My friend all knew. It's like, hey, I don't want to face the world. I cannot talk to anybody. I cannot do anything before 12 noon. That's how I was. But now it's like by 7 o'clock, 7:30, it's like, oh yeah, let me go see what I could do today. So how can I not be excited? How can I not tell people about it? It's okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about with that. It's like you want to like we've been saying, you want to shout it to the rooftops. Like, hey, exactly. I'm doing so much better, and we all tell our stories in different ways. But
I know. Look at this. Look at these muscles. Do you guys see these muscles?
I do.
I'm telling you the truth. I didn't do much except I got one of those things. Let me show you. I got one of those doodads.
Oh, okay. Those stretch bands. Yeah.
I go like that. You know what I mean? You just sit down and do that. I'm like, okay, I'll do this. And look at these muscles. They're just. So I'm gonna do that one competition they're doing with like what's her name? The Canadian lady.
You mean Coach Lisa?
No, the Canadian, the farmer.
Oh, the Canadian. Maggie.
Maggie. Yes, yes, Maggie. They're gonna do. They want to do that. What should we call it? The bucket. Picking up 100 pounds of grains. How she does it. I'm gonna start. I want to start so bad. I'm gonna start doing that. So it's gonna be so much fun. So, yeah. So I just tell everybody. I know some people think I'm crazy. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. Crazy, that's fine. It goes with me. Crazy, healthy, happy, got my life back, got my health back. It's okay. You can call me crazy. You can go live on pills. You can go to the doctors. They wanted to cut me up in so many places. They wanted to cut me up in my neck. They wanted to cut me up in my back. They wanted to cut me back in my gallbladder. It's like so many things they wanted to. It's like no. And finally, when you persist, when you keep searching for the truth, when you make up your mind, I am not going to live on pills. I'm not going to live under the mercy of the doctors. There is God, and when I look for answers, He will give me. Just search with it with all your might and with all your heart. Sooner or later, you will find the truth. And I really believe that because if it wasn't with all my heart, if it's not with all our heart, then we will not really go doing it. You know what I mean? We will always find an excuse not to do it. But when you're way down there with all your heart, it's like, okay, I am going to do whatever it takes. And that's what's like, I'm not going to live on pills for the rest of my life. I'm not going to live under the mercy of those drug dealers. I'm not going to do it. I saw what they did to my mom and dad. My dad's both legs were amputated. He was on dialysis for 6 horrible years. He hated his life. Literally, he hated his life. In and out of hospitals, in and out of doctors, in and out of procedures, you name it, he's had it. And I'm not going to live that way. My mom is the same way. She's blind. She is in so much pain. And they drug her every day with pain pills. They give her insulin 3 or 4 or 5 times a day to keep her diabetes down. And I made up my mind, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to live that way. I'd rather die than live that life. And so, and God answered my prayer. God heard the cry of my heart and brought me carnivore through Carrie Mann, who was influenced by Dante, who was influenced by Jordan Peterson. Yeah. And that's what we're going to be. We're going to be spreaders of goodness, of good information, of carnivore, to help people pull them out of the misery. Now my mission in life is to tell as many people as I can. I mean, I love Jesus and I would like to tell people about Jesus, which I do. But now my second mission is you don't have to live in pain. You don't have to live in that misery. There is an answer. Just look at it. Just try it. So that's where I am now.
Oh my God. I'm like taken back. I'm speechless. I really am. You know, it's really remarkable, you know. But I also think that, you know, we all have really remarkable stories. It's just Absolutely. A matter of, you know, like there's no small story, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that you're on here right now. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah. And, you know, we get so many comments in the chat, which I try putting on the screen, you know, as much as I can, you know, saying about how you're an inspiration and everything. And they're right. They're, you know, I mean, I'm hoping that people, you know, anybody that's in the chat right now, I urge you, I never done this before, but I urge you to share this, you know, like tell your friend, like share it to your friends, share it to people, you know, that, you know, because this is, you know, this is how we know whether or not carnivore is the right thing, you know. And I've always said that carnivore works for me. It might not work for everybody, and that's still true, you know. Not everybody is going to respond to it, because it's just the way life is. Not everything works for everybody, you know. But it's such a wide range that it's if I was going to say that, you know, what helps for the most people, what helps for most situations, this would be carnivore, you know. And you know, like it's like we're part of the 99%er, you know, like that the people that it doesn't work for is like a 1%, you know. And we're you know, like it's just, but it's so amazing, you know. And just to let that, so please share this with your friends, share this with people, especially, you know, especially people that you need to get that word out, because Helen's pretty much telling it to you, you know.
So watch this, Thomas. I went to the Philippines in August last year.
Okay.
And I had just started sometimes May, June, July, August. It was about 4 months into it, maybe 5 months. And I went to the Philippines. And you know, in the Philippines, I don't know if people know, but it's very food-oriented culture. Everything is, there's food. Everywhere you go, there's food. The malls are full of all kinds of restaurants and food from all over the world. I felt so good in that short period that I told my friends when we were going there, I said, I will not eat anything but meat. And they're Filipinos and they're the sweetest people. They're so precious. And they were feeling so sorry for me for not being able to try. It's like, hey, don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. I am loving my life. I can travel. I can sit in the plane for hours and hours and not have pain, not have popping all these pain pills. And everywhere we went, they were just like handing me food. Please try this and please try that. And I'm like, no. I don't want to miss this feeling. It is so amazing to sleep after all day of going and going here and going there. And I go home and then I'm able to go to sleep just like that and wake up in the morning. I'm also energetic to go some more, you know? So that's how strong I felt about it, to where we went there. We went to Hong Kong for a few days and I stayed. I had made up my mind. There's nothing that was going to get me off of this. I don't care what it was. And so when you sit in a restaurant, that was so funny. And you see that the waitress would come and they'll ask you for this. It's like, no, thank you. No, and then they're all looking at you. And the waitress is looking at you like you're so crazy. It's like, no. Just give me butter and meat. And they go like, how about this? They did not understand. They just didn't get it. And I know how they felt, you know. But for me, that was the only way that I was able to function without pain, without misery, and enjoy my time there. There was absolutely nobody that was going to move me off of that rock, period. So that was amazing. Yeah.
So, to connect it to what you're just saying about food, Bacon Baby is asking, what do you eat, Helen? And is it OMAD? And do you fast?
Okay, so I do eat my favorite meat. I tell everybody, chuck eye steaks. Chuck eye steak, I can afford it. And I honestly like it better than any other meat. And I have it all the time. As soon as I found out about it, which wasn't very long ago, it was maybe 7-8 months ago when I found out about it. I asked the butcher. I said, hey, I can't afford $15 ribeye or $15 T-bone steak. What can you show me some kind of, cut that I can buy that's cheaper? That was gone totally. And it was such a nice butcher from our local store here. And he took me right to the chuck eye steak. And he said, I promise you, this is going to be good. He's like, just put it on the grill, just a few minutes on each side and take it and salt it. And he was right. Oh my word. I'm so addicted to that. I even buy the chuck roast and I cut it into like thin pieces, not a whole inch thick. And then I put them on the grill. So that's one of my favorite. And then eggs. I can eat 6 to 8 eggs a day. Like in the morning, the first thing I do when I'm hungry is soft boiled eggs. I did the boiling eggs for a while and I just didn't like them as much. And then I did the scrambled eggs and it wasn't, it was okay. I would eat them. But the soft boiled eggs are out of this world. I just put them in water. And as soon as they start boiling, then I would, hold the egg. It's a way of eating them, like an English way of eating them. Like the English people, they even have a little cups that you put.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're talking about the little cup and you're like.
Yeah. You just cut the top and then make a hole on the top.
The little bitty fork, yeah.
The little bitty spoon. Well, I just put there and I go like that and chunk them down one after another.
Oh, that's cool.
My body it's like, yeah, give me more. There were sometimes that I've eaten 6 eggs just standing there and chugging them down like that. So that's my number 2 favorite. I was eating pork and chicken at first when I first started, but after a while my body did not feel good. And then I don't eat a whole lot of pork or bacon, but mostly beef and eggs. And so now how I eat in the daytime is like, if I did physical work or a lot of walking or a lot of mowing the day before, when I wake up in the morning, I feel hungry. And then I just eat more. Sometimes I eat 2 meals a day. And sometimes I even snack in between. I'm learning to listen to my body. I am serious. This is not spooky. This is nothing, crazy. But if you sit and listen to your body, you will hear your body talking back to you on how much to eat, when to eat. There's some kind of switch. It seems like to me, there's some kind of switch when I'm hungry. It just comes out like, oh, I need food. I just get up and make whatever. And so I've been learning to listen to my body and what makes me feel good when I eat and how much I eat. I do eat a lot. And like when I have physical, work the day before, sometimes I get up and I'm not hungry at all. And I've gone fasting like 3 days, at least 3 or 4 times since I started carnivore. I've done 72 hours. It's because I wasn't feeling hungry. And that happens when I was at the SBG group with them, and one of the coaches said, do the priming. I did the priming.
Coach Raymond, right? Yeah.
Yes. And it was good. And I was able to fast and not feel ravenous when I broke my fast. And so, yeah, I've done that. And every now and then I've done a lot of 24-hour fasting. And I did do a few times 24 hours with no, like no water, no food. And it was okay. It's nothing like, it wasn't a whole lot of struggle for me. So I listen to my body, and if I can go with that food, it lets me know. So try.
I'm going to ask a stupid question.
Yeah.
Terry B is saying pancit in Philippines is tasty. What exactly is pancit? And if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. Do you know what that is?
Is that the Filipino food?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's noodles. It's rice noodles with fried with some little bit of oil. Of course, they use tons of seed oil, and they put.
So it's not real. It's not really a carnivore dish.
No.
Okay. So I'm guessing, Terry, you don't really eat it now because you're carnivore, unless that's your unless that's your. It's for celebrations, she says. So, all right, that's pretty cool. Comment, blah 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 blah. So we have Rick Charger Mopar just joined in. So
hi.
He's here. A lot of people are seeing you, and this is
all right. Give me your questions, you guys. Otherwise, I'll keep jabbering.
Yeah, I mean, don't have, please, people, don't make Terry B be the only person that's asking questions. Okay.
Come on, you guys.
Helen's very articulate. She can answer them.
Yes. So yeah, that's the longer I stayed, the stronger my will became, and the better I felt, the more I was ready. It's like no. To my friends, I have friends that don't talk to me because of it. Because when it's not that they don't talk to me, they don't want to spend time with me because all they want is to go out to eat. And I know if I go out to eat, I'll be forced, into picking up stuff that I'm not supposed to, or tempted. So the first few months I had to be so careful because I did not want nobody to get me off of my mission. It was a mission for my health. That's how I look at it. Even, right now, it's like I cannot give in to anything, because of the changes that has happened to me and what I see, how other carnivores have been feeling. How can I go back to that? Like I did a video a few days ago about cucumbers. I love those Persian cucumbers. And I'm like, oh, they were in the market and I saw them. It's like, okay, I'm going to just buy 2. I ate 2 small Persian cucumbers and they literally messed me up so bad. I didn't feel good until like the day before yesterday. Like 2 cucumbers. My body is so sensitive to vegetables, any kind of oxalates or any like, I think that's what my big problem. Some of us are very sensitive to oxalates. So I'm not gonna do this again, because this is what happens. I did the same thing with an onion because I loved onions about 6 months ago. I've been eating, oh yeah, whoever asked me about the question about what I eat, I do eat liver, beef liver, almost every single day. And I learned to cook it in beef tallow. I fry it, I just soak it in beef tallow. It is so good. And then a bunch of salt. And I honestly can't even wait to get it out of the pan. I just like chop it up real quick with a scissor and just like woofing it down. So yeah, the beef tallow is really good. So yeah, and then those cucumbers messed me up. So a while ago I started, it's like, oh, onion, it will be so good, a caramelized onion with this beef. Yeah, I mean with the beef liver, because that's what I've ate before. And the onion did the same thing to me. So I cannot have oxalates at all. So I don't want it anymore. But yeah, you just have to learn to listen to your body, and then whatever you're eating, just kind of be alone. Just I really believe this too. Since I started carnivore, well, before starting carnivore, God worked out all kind of things in my life, even though it was the worst experience, the worst thing that happened in my life 4 years ago, to where I am confined into a motorhome, and I just traveled wherever. I was just so distraught from what happened that my life has turned upside down. I couldn't do anything but get in a motorhome with a bunch of little stuff that I thought I needed, and I just got on the road, and I just kept going and going and going, which led me to being alone for a long time. And so when I started carnivore, I had just came back to Oregon, and I was here in the motorhome, which I felt like God put me in a rehab in the motorhome, where there's not much distractions. There isn't many people to get me, off my course. And I felt like I'm sitting in this health rehab. I was able to focus, to know what to do most of the time, and learn this is the only way I'm going to get better. And I really thank God now for all what happened, and even for this lifestyle, to be here in 27-foot motorhome and just be able to eat the way I'm supposed to, do the things I'm supposed to, and concentrate on my healing. So this helped me a lot. So when you eat something, try to just get alone, just by yourself, and listen to your body. And just when you're laying down, listen to your body. Just try to concentrate on how your legs are feeling, how your joints are feeling, how your shoulders, and just close your eyes and just be still and listen. And that's one of the things too that I don't know how to explain it other than this way. I will be laying down, especially like in the mornings. It's like, oh, it's time to wake up. But something tells me, no, stay down. And it almost feels like when I've had surgeries before, you know how the doctors would give us anesthesia to keep us down so they can work on us? It's almost that feeling comes to me, where I need to stay down, because there's some kind of work that's happening inside of me, that if I got up and got, stressed, or I got up and started moving around, that work wasn't going to get done. I literally, honestly felt that way. And I would stay put, and it's just like such a strong voice inside of me that tells me, stay down, that I heard it. I'm not crazy. Please. And if you listen to your body, you will hear it. And it seems like when it was done, I would just like, oh, this feels so good. And it's like, yeah, something is real. I feel good. I don't know where the healing was. Sometimes I would feel like part of my tummy, like relax or not, or I don't know what it is, but it felt good. Sometimes I would feel like little things in this side of my head. A lot. I've seen it. I've felt it. Where, like, when there's like um, strings, like you're pulling a string or something, and it just seems like a string is being pulled inside my head.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, but that's, and then
Well,
sometimes
it's how it feels. I
I
get that. I get
yes,
that. So, Yoli, which we all know, from Human
Yoli,
Humanity. Yeah.
woo!
I didn't know if you realized who Carney Yoli is. It's Yolanda
That's
from
my
Human Humanity.
Yoli.
So she's saying, I'm getting little shots of spasms. I think they're healing spasms. I'm not crazy. And no, Yolanda, you are not crazy. Lisa just asked a question. Can you share your favorite scripture?
My favorite one, it's been the past 4 years. It's Romans 8:28. All things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. So, honestly, that's one of the things that has gotten me a lot more closer to God. Since I got in the carnivore, a lot of those verses and those scriptures have gotten so real. I've read them over and over and heard them before, but now my my foggy brain is getting clearer and clearer, and I'm able to look back for years, on things that has happened, and I look at them and I'm like, how in the world would that situation work as it has been working now for good? There was absolutely no way I was able to understand that or grasp that. But now that my brain fog is getting clearer, oh man, it's like, I can't believe, God, you said it, and it was that's how it happened, and look at what's going on now. So yeah, the
Well,
Bible
it's like Carrie Mann says, you don't know you're in the fog until you're out of the fog.
exactly. Yes. Oh man, that is so true. Yes, like I listen after listening to um Midlife Carnivore, Nurse Lynn.
Oh, Lynn. Oh,
Oh
God.
man, mast cell activation syndrome. I have every single symptoms that she's had. I've had it for years. And I remember my body would get so messed up. I would feel like every single cell of my body, just like tennis balls, when you put tons of tennis ball in a big bag, and each
Mhm.
tennis ball is going its own way and shivering,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
other direction. I would feel all of my body from the top of my head to the bottom. My feet is all shivering, and like every cell. It's not like shivering from cold, like all your body shivering, like normal shivering from fever. It's not that way. I know how that one feels. But this is a different quivering and shivering that I had that was so strange. And I couldn't tell people or doctors about it because I literally thought I was going crazy. And I knew they would
Right.
probably think I was crazy.
And you figure that they would definitely think you're going crazy and put you in a home or
Yeah,
something.
they would have locked me in. They would have locked me up, in a mental
Or even
hospital.
worse, just dismiss you, and then you'd be even crazier.
Exactly.
Like,
So
this is a crazy person.
the histamine problems, oh my. So now I look back, like at this time of the year, I would have so many allergies on my skin, on my sinus, in my eyes, you name it. Even with food allergies, it just, all of it would react together, and it was all like a mess. Everywhere I went, if I stood somewhere like in church next to somebody that had perfume, it's all started. If I go in a grocery store and there was like, some kind of smell from, like when you're going through the detergent aisle or something, sets me off. You just never know what would set off my allergies, and it was insane. So I didn't even know that's what it was like, because everybody's like, oh, it's just allergies. Oh, it's just allergies. Yeah, it was killing me, you know?
That's a pretty big, allergies aren't small,
Yeah, and everybody thought it was just normal. It's normal to have allergies. Oh, it's always normal to have all these eczema on your hands, and you're itching, and you keep putting on the strongest hydrocortisone ointments, the strongest hydrocortisone creams, and and there's times when it just bleeds because it cracks and bleeds from the itching, and I would get up and I would make the water so hot in the spigot, to make sure it burns my hands so bad so I could get some rest. The same thing, itches all over. Just, you never know. My body would just be itching and itching. It's like, and taking the Benadryl every single night for years. I've taken the pink pill for allergies, either one or two. It just depended on how bad it was, Every night I had bottles of allergy syrup that I carried with me everywhere. I had allergy pills. Just take whatever I could just to keep it down, but it would make me so miserable. My moods, it affected my mood so bad that I would just I get so agitated, and oh man.
So I am getting a quote here from Sandy saying, Thomas, you have some questions up above. I just tried looking for them. I can't really find them. Unfortunately, a few minutes ago, I froze again. So Helen was actually all by herself talking. So you'll probably see it like where you see me missing. I don't know if Helen noticed it or not, but
I did.
Okay. So I was thinking those questions came before that happened, or like during the time that happened. So I do apologize, Sandy. I can't find those questions. So if you asked a certain question, if you could put it down again for, I'm guessing it was a question for Helen. So if you can put it down again, that would be really great. All right. And if you're talking about somebody else, if you could either put in the chat for that person, or if that person could put it in there. I do apologize. It's not easy doing these comments. I don't know. They go so fast, it's like, oh my God. But this is I'm going to keep on saying this, like, well, the whole experience, like I'm having such good guests, and you're just in that huge, wonderful golden, and I say golden with like exuberance, melting pot of people that are carnivore. And I have a couple of nice guests coming up in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks after that. And okay, Bacon Baby asked the question, or no, I guess, Terry B asked the question. Bacon Baby's repeating it. And I did see that question, Sandy, but I just didn't get to ask her. So I'm going to give you both questions now, okay, and you can answer both. Okay. So I'll do Sandy's first, and then I'll give you Terry's right away, and you can just answer both at the same time. Sandy's asking, how is your kitty?
Aww.
And Terry is asking, do you still drink beef broth daily? Bean broth, that'd be horrible. Beef broth daily.
That's one thing. As soon as I found out about beef broth, but I make it fresh, and I don't buy anything from the store. And I'm so glad I came across beef neck bones in the store, and they have a lot of meat on them. I just bring them, put them in the pressure cooker. I bought a pressure cooker for $15 off of Facebook Market, and then I put salt on there. I make it and drink it. And then usually I have a little bit left for the next morning, and I drink that instead of coffee. So definitely beef broth helped me a lot. But I can't drink it when it's older, because of histamine. I give it to my dog. And my kitty is right.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably right near you.
Here is. His name is.
Oh God, look at that.
Look at him. Yeah. He keeps me awake sometimes at
Of course.
night. So yeah, that's my kitty. Yeah, you want to go back to sleep? Sorry, I woke you up. There you go. Did I answer both questions? Yeah.
Well, yeah, you answered them both.
Okay.
So we just got joined in. Good job, guys. Love hearing Helen. So I guess Paul, you've been listening for quite a while, because if you just came on, then how would you know? So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
So one thing I keep thinking about. I have to say this because honestly, this is how I feel. I feel like I have hit the jackpot of health. I honestly believe people that have thousands and millions of dollars if they don't have the feeling of this right feeling inside their skin, if they don't have this feeling of knowing like something went wrong with my body, I know how to take care of it. You know what I mean? I know my body's going to take care of it. I know there is a way of healing and I am in control of that. You know what I mean? Like with the cucumber, the feeling that I've had with the cucumbers, I know exactly where it was from and I know exactly how to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we do the N=1 explaining ourselves.
Yeah, we have that control over knowing what to do with our own body and how to fix them and how not to get them, in that kind of pain and trouble again. And to me, that knowledge and that control, it's worth millions.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. And I think
worst feeling before when something would hurt and if you went to the doctor and no matter what the doctor did, it wasn't going to help.
Yeah. I mean, that right there is the biggest. I mean, all of our healing is a miracle, because we've been so told that nothing can be done about it.
Yes.
I mean, some are told like, okay, if you do this, but it's never really in the right direction, at least not usually. But what I think the miracle is us finding out that, wait, we don't have to listen to somebody that really, I don't feel really has our best interest at heart, and now we're in control of our own system. And I like the N=1 experiment on ourselves because it's like sort of, you're sort of learning. And yeah, you're going to go through some hurdles. You're going to go through some, I'll give you an example. I'll give two examples. I had an internet Instagram conversation with Jill K right before coming on here. And I played a video of a chicken, like pretty much saying like, coffee, anybody want coffee, and she was like saying how she can't do coffee now, and she had to do that N=1 experiment on herself in order to do that. Now, she would never have found that out if she never did that, if she never learned about herself and never took control of her own health,
Right.
And the same thing is happening to me with insulin right now. Like my insulin keeps on every time I have like a high insulin, and I would take a high blood sugar, and I would take the insulin just like and I even cut it down, not in half, but cut it down. And yesterday I had to have another Oreo cookie because I'm going downstairs, I'm trapped, not trapped, but I'm like, also my body's shaking, and it went from like 135 or like 138, I'm sorry, down to like 55.
Wow.
Within just a few minutes, like within like not even an hour, like a half an hour. And I actually, if you're thinking that I actually fasted, I didn't eat anything, I actually had 4 burgers and 4 pieces of bacon.
Wow.
Before I went down the stairs. So for it to drop like that is immense. So I changed the rules a little bit. I no longer take insulin if it's under 150. So I just said anything under 150, I'm not taking insulin. I'm raising up my threshold, your cap, so to speak. And I actually I've lessened the insulin even more. Now, last time I took insulin, okay, now it's a little high right now, probably because of all the excitement that I'm going through with you. and and but basically last time I took any insulin was before I went to bed last night, or yesterday. I shouldn't say last night. I went to bed around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I took the insulin with my last meal around 11 a.m., like around 11 a.m., 12. And so I always try to not eat like at least 2 hours before I go to bed because I have the stomach issues and stuff. And it's just habit forming now. And I got up. I unfortunately missed Carrie with the interview with Dr. Nelson and all that stuff, and missed a lot of other things. But I got up around 8 o'clock, and I went to work at 10, worked until 6 o'clock in the morning. And that whole time, my insulin did not go to the 150. I did not need my insulin. And even this morning when I woke up, it was like about 88. And I haven't yet, like right now it's high, but it's at 147, which is below the marker that I said 150. So I haven't yet taken any insulin. Now, if it goes above 150, obviously I'll take some insulin. And I actually, since then, I actually had some roast beef at the pizza place. I had a couple of, breakfast bowls with like egg and bacon, So I had food. I had, and I had a couple of cups of coffee too. And it's just amazing, But if I don't do that, I won't know, because when I talked to my doctor about it, or tried to talk to my doctor about it, his thing was, oh, well, we'll see in July. We'll see if you need to lower your insulin. Now, if I kept the insulin exactly where he wanted me to keep it, I would probably be passed out from having too low a sugar.
Yeah.
And so I think the miracle is the N=1 more than anything. It's not just the healing; it's the fact that we have control now of our own bodies and our own selves. And how can you not have a little pride in that? Like you feel like being Plastic Man and like taking your arm and like patting yourself on the back, properly.
It's honestly, it's just taking responsibility of our own health, of our own body, of whatever we put in our mouth, taking responsibility ourselves. That's how I feel. It's that serious. It's like, why should I put my body and my health and my happiness in somebody else's hands? The food industry, no, they don't care about my health. Doctors, no, they don't care about my health. I mean, the carnivore doctors, yes, now that I see, that they know and they're spreading the word.
Well, yeah, they sacrifice quite a bit to do what they're doing. So,
Yeah, it's
so you have to have a little respect for them, if not a lot, for, I mean, some of them like jeopardize their licenses and everything just to do, same thing with nurses, I mean, and everything. I mean, Dr. Barry, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, probably even Dr. Phil Smith, even though he's retired,
Yeah.
They, and the nurses, like you said, Lynn from Midlife Carnivore, and everything. And I know, like my last guest, Amy, works with Lynn quite extensively,
Right.
So, and it's just,
I believe
I'm always at a loss for words. I do apologize on that, but it's just.
Right. I really believe this healing humanity. The way we all met there, it's like a divine appointment. I really believe it's divine appointments that God is putting so many people from so many different backgrounds together to spread the word and let people know, and especially with healing humanity, how God led Carrie to start this. I honestly feel is one of the most noble missions right now to spread.
Yeah.
And as soon as I knew about it, and I'm not saying this to brag, honest to God, it's not that. I just want to encourage more people to, hey, this is a noble cause. This is one of the most noble causes right now in our day, right now, to work for and to donate for. It's this, because it's affecting children all the way from the womb. All the way from the womb, they're being affected. They're being poisoned because the mothers don't know what they're eating and poisoning their children from the time they were born. They're not being nursed. They are giving them all those poisons from the jars, and then going to school and feeding them all that. So when I heard about the documentary, I scraped $1,000 literally, and I was only like maybe 2-3 months into carnivore. And as soon as I heard about the GoFundMe, I donated it right away because of the change, of the health, of the, amazing healing that it gave me. And I want more and more people to know about it. So I'm not like trying to push people to donate, but I really feel like.
Right. Well, you're just saying that you donated.
Yes.
And of why you donated. And, yeah, I get that, because not everybody can donate. Everybody kind of tries to help in whatever form they can do,
Yes.
And like I think that's one of the reasons why I'm a member of the Healing Event, because I know the money does go to the proceeds of doing the documentary. So I think that's why I'm a big component, even though I did get a couple of freebies, I'm still great with paying, because, it's, to me, $30 a month isn't really that much. I can handle that.
And then the other thing is, belonging to a community is so important. When I heard about the group, I belong to one of the groups. We meet Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I got to meet you here and met so many wonderful people. My Yoli, my accountability partner. It just like it brought so much richness and closeness into my life to stick with it and to learn more and to educate myself more and be of help to other people. So having this community to encourage me, and in return I encourage them, it was amazing. It was exactly what I needed.
Well, I saw in the chats earlier. I think I put it up there, but I'm not sure. If I didn't, I apologize. But I think it was Sandy that had said that, God is giving us miracles and stuff like that. I mean, it was in the general sense of that. And you know what? To tell you the truth, okay, I agree with that wholeheartedly. But the thing is, I'm going to go one step above that. I think God has always given us the miracle. It's always been there, and I think what it has been is, for some reason, we've destroyed it. We've mucked it up. And by all these companies doing the seed oils and everything like that, and by us listening to all this advice and all this advice that kind of put us into the wrong direction, and our own mishaps, onto ourselves and onto what we thought was the right thing to do. And the miracle is, it's not really just God. It's the concept that we were able to finally see the light. And that's the miracle that God gave us. He gave us the sight.
Thank you, God. Yes.
To see the light and to see. And some of us are lucky enough, that, like example, Rick, he saw the light 41 years ago. Whether he knows it or not, he saw the light. He saw that, hey, I want meat. Meat is not the enemy, that, and everything. And yeah, he did it to have the heart attack, and he's been failing all along. So, I mean, not too good there, Rick. You're failing in every single way. It's a joke that he has. And, and everything. But, it's just, and I keep on getting like lost for words. It's just, I think what it is as I'm speaking, my heart is pounding a mile a minute, and it's
The thing is, too, we were so brainwashed. I mean, we wanted to know the truth, but there was so many walls against us, so many, coming at us from every direction,
we wanted to believe them.
from every direction,
Yeah,
So we couldn't even see the light, until
yeah,
that's how when the miracle happened to me, that I just couldn't anymore put up with the pain. I hated life. I just there was nothing else, to me except just,
yeah,
okay, God, please do something about it.
yeah.
And so
Um, yeah, it's just I mean, we're all here on different reasons. We're all here in different experiences. But even as you're telling your story, like I know my reason why I'm here is different than yours. I mean, we all know what my reason is. It's the blood sugar, and it's the A1C, and it's again, it's not about me today. It's about but it's about but my reason also is too, I don't want to lose any more toes. I don't want to lose any more digits, and to me, that's a pretty good why, you know. I'm not saying it's the best why out there, but it's a pretty good one, as why's come,
yes,
and but then you're starting to say things that were like, wow, like when you're talking about the bleeding gums. I used to have really bad gums. Like every time I would actually be afraid to go to the dentist, and I still have to go to the dentist, but I know that my gums and teeth are a lot better because I don't have the bleeding gums anymore. And I used to have like a film on my teeth, like kind of like, like you scrape and then you get like all this stuff on your finger, and I don't have that anymore,
right, yeah.
you know,
Well, I
and
was in the Philippines, and my friend said, "Hey, it's cheap to check our teeth in the Philippines," and I'm like, "Okay." I was only like 4 or 5 months into it, and
okay,
I brought, so they did a whole mouth X-ray, and they have really really nice X-ray machines over there. It's it was amazing. They did it, and we went to the dentist, and she was one of those nice ones that she knows about. My friend, she's from the Philippines, from that area. She's been here a long time, and she's the best. She looks at my X-ray and she says, "I don't have no plaque. I don't need any cleaning, and my teeth look perfect." And so I've had 4 implants in Mexico 6 years ago. The bone was not completely built around them, grown around them. And she said, "This is all new bone growing all around him." And she's explaining to me, she's like, "Your mouth looks great." And she did nothing. She's like, "There's nothing that has to be done." You know what I
wow,
mean? I brought the X-ray with me because I want to show it to people. When before, like you said, I was afraid to go to the dentist, and I avoided going. I would go to Mexico because in here they would say, I need this, and I have gum disease, and they need to do this and this. Like, I got sick of hearing that. It's like, no, no more. So I would do whatever I can. I would like gargle with salt all the time, and I would wash and gargle with hydrogen peroxide, and I would do the baking soda, and I would put the clove on them, and I do all kind of natural stuff, thinking that I'm gonna get them better. And it was all oxalates and all the that have lodged into my gums, and they cause all the inflammation, and then all these bacteria by the hundreds of different kinds of bacteria that were living in my mouth, in my gums, and causing all that. And even my receding gums are all back. I had receding gums, they kept telling me,
hmm
and they're all back and they're normal. So
that's and another thing that you had mentioned that's sort of similar too is the snoring.
yeah.
I had really bad sleep apnea, and and it actually I actually had an operation. This is back when I was a lot heavier too. I don't know if you know this or not, but I actually used to be about 379 pounds
Oh wow.
about 25 years ago. And it's amazing how time flies by. You don't really think of that time, you
Right.
know. And I had the operation. I had like my throat opened up, and I had the tonsils taken out, all that stuff.
Wow.
And it was supposed to help. It did help it, but only about 70%. So I still had it. What helped it was me losing the weight, losing at least 50 pounds. That's what really did it.
Yeah.
But the thing is when I was in there in the operating table, my heart actually stopped in the middle of the operation.
Wow.
And when I talked to the doctor, he's like, yeah, this is actually very common. This happens to a lot of people.
Wow.
So my first thought was, okay, so you were prepared for it.
Wow.
Right? He's like, well, no, I mean, we don't really, we just work very quickly to get the stuff in there. Like, you would think they had the table ready for just in case something happens like that. And they're like, no, we had to get out of the other room and pull it out. And to make it even worse, I had a stupid nurse that actually gave me lemon pudding, and complained about, she's like, you think you have it bad? Have be in labor for 35 hours. I'm like, what does that have to do with you putting acid down my throat after a throat operation?
Yeah.
And these are the people that we were actually relying on and listening to, to give us this, and like, I have people even today, that are like, well, my doctor says this. Well, my doctor says that. You should do what your doctor says, and it's like, why? They've been killing me all this time.
Yeah.
And whether they do it on purpose or not, why should I listen? Why should I listen? Like I have the one doctor. I already know. I'm seeing I get my blood work done on the 10th, so I'll announce because I'll get my blood work done, and I see my endocrinologist on the 14th, and I see the primary doctor on the 24th. And I already know what at the very least what the primary doctor is going to say. I already know he's going to put me on a statin because I know that most likely he already did. He tried. I think I told the story where he tried to pretty much force the statin right down my throat, and I said no, and I finally had to give in the way of saying, okay, write me the script, but I just pretty much got the pills because he called it in, so I had to make it look like, okay, everything's being done, and then I just took the pills and threw them away, but it was like $5, but believe me, it was worth the $5 to throw them away, but it's just, it's I mean, the only reason why I even go to a doctor anymore is because of the insurance, so I can keep.
That's why I don't have insurance. It's been 13 years, and I just don't feel like I need it. I just don't want it. In fact,
I mean, I need the insurance in order to have my disability, for my for my Social Security disability. But believe me, once I start working, it's going to be like car insurance. It's like, okay, I have it in case I break my foot or in case I decide to go skiing and I jump off a roof or something like that because I'm being stupid, but and because that's very known in my family. I mean, I haven't been the stupid one really in that particular case. I can tell you stories about, but but that's always because I was always afraid. Now that I'm living life, I'm not as afraid anymore.
Yes.
And I'm cautious still. I still kind of tippy toe a little bit, but if you saw my shoes, you'd understand why I say that. But I just but I know I'm moving. Right now, I only work so many hours, but my body is starting to be capable of working more. But I don't really want to start working the more until I'm absolutely sure I can work a full more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And right now, I can only work 16 hours based on my disability. But once I feel capable of working I have to be able to work at least a 40, 50-hour day. Even though full-time is only 40 hours, I want to be able to extend that. And once I can do that, then I can do what's called Ticket to Work program. And that would be actually a program that I can do. And then for a few months, I will actually get both in there. And then when I'm doing it for about a few months, I think it's 3 to 6 months, I forget the amount. I will go right to just working, and then my disability will end, which is what I want. I don't want to do this forever because, I mean, let's face facts here. I'm not a 65-year-old man. I'm not ready for retirement. I'm 52. I'm too young to be doing this, but I'm just taking advantage of it right now because I can't really work
Yeah.
anymore. I could
Yeah.
probably do 20 hours if I really wanted to physically, but I can't do any more than that.
Yeah.
It just would be very hard. I mean, like last night I worked an 8-hour shift, and that I was better at it. I've had a hard time in the past, and I haven't had any reactions or anything. So you know,
Yeah.
but it's a miracle. I'm able to walk more. I walk around the track now. I walk about 2 miles around, 2, 3 miles around the track, depending on what distance I go.
Yeah.
And I'm stopping like 10 times less than I was.
Yeah.
I'm able to walk faster to my destinations, So, I mean, and like I said, like I'd love to be able to run, but the only reason I can't is because my shoes feel like they're going to keep on. Like, I feel like if I start running, I'm going to just like be thrown onto the ground, So I just kind of like,
Yeah.
of course,
Just
about
take
that.
it easy. Yeah. Well, your body, I'm telling you the truth, your body will tell you what you can and what you can't
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I've never been a fast walker, and I've never been a runner, but every now and then when I'm walking, it's just like my body wants to go faster and faster. I was like, wow, this is like different. But I think our body, as it's being fed, it's healing the muscles, it's building its own self, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little by, and the least movements we do to encourage it, it's making it building more muscle and wanting to
Oh,
do
yeah.
the right
Yeah.
movements, and the
Yeah.
energy comes with it. It's just amazing.
It is. I mean,
Amazing.
every time I have achievements, like it's sort of getting to the point though where we do on SPG, and I think you mentioned SPG before, so I
Yeah.
think you know what I'm talking about, where they have the NSV, on Saturdays, where the non-scale victories, where it's like you have all these victories and everything like that, and I go on there and I tell the victories I have. But last time, I had a little bit of disappointment. I had an issue for a while there, and I put it on my last video, so everybody knows about it.
I watched it.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and but so far, Dr. Phil's recommendations have been working. I haven't yet been able to do Alia's recommendation because I haven't been able to buy that supplement yet. I did get paid, so I have to see if I have enough money for them. But even without her supplements, which I'll probably just get, just to have them, But Dr. Phil's with the yogurt and everything like that, I'm not having that problem anymore. I'm not waking up in the middle of the night. I'm not, having accidents. Thank God. Because I was really worried about going to Boston, because the drive like Lewis said, it's about 4 hours for the drive from New York, and then also
I wish I was 3-4 hours from there. I would go like in no time. It takes me a whole day to get there. More
yeah,
than
no, I get you. And we'd love to see you in Boston. I would love to meet you in Boston, but we'll meet someday.
next time. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, and then also counting, like I have to take the 1 hour and 20 minutes, I think it takes, from Belmar to New York.
Okay.
So it's
And
not
the thing
just
about the movement, the more your body gets rid of the excess weight, which that started happening to me like after 6 months into it, because I did not lose weight the first 6 months at all. Now my body was moving, the where the fat was, and all that stuff was changing, but I wasn't losing weight. It feels almost like I put on weight the first 6 months. And then I did not have a waist. It was like all straight, like from here all the way straight. And it was just so uncomfortable because I just wanted to have a waist. And then pretty soon I started seeing that the fat was shifting from different areas. Well, for me, it was like really a lot of inflammation. I was just swelled, inflamed all over.
right.
And and with the fat, all that diseased fat around my organs started melting and being used, and all the toxins start coming out, and all the inflammation start clearing up, and there's more and more healing happening. That's when my body started like, whoa, this feels good, you know. It's like, we could do this, we could do that, and I'm like, wow, you know, I just like, it feels so good just to get up and do a few jumping jacks. And it didn't take an effort anymore. Things like the walking, the playing with my dog, the jumping jacks, or doing like I do push-ups on my counter, right on my
Okay.
counter here in the RV. It didn't take effort anymore. It was effortless. And I just get up and do it, and just like boom, and it was done. But it was unlike before. It's like, oh, I just need to get up and do something, you know. None of that. None of that. So as the weight keeps coming off, and you know, more and more and more, the more you feel alive, the more the energy just keeps coming, you know, and it's just like, whoa, it's like, let's just go do it, you know. That's how it feels.
I mean,
Constantly. It's like, oh,
I just love your exuberance. You know, it's
thank you. It was like 3 or 4 days ago at midnight.
I'm going to say that I think it is, and I hope that it is. I hope it's infectious, because it's you know, to see all that excitement, and I hope it rubs off on everybody here and everybody in your life and everything like that. You know, it's just, you know.
Well, the thing is, in our life, we try to take control of other external things around us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another thing that's happening to me more and more now that my brain is clearing up more and more. I mean, it's not anywhere close to being perfect, but a lot of times we try to take control of external things around us, take, you know, this and that. But honestly, when you take all that energy and concentrate on your body, how to control your feeding your body and your thoughts, how you're thinking, the rest that you need, you know, like drinking healthy. I drink water with salt. Can you tell the salt inside the water? I love salt water. I don't drink water with salt anymore.
I'm guessing that's pink salt, because I see the pink salt in there. So
and then putting all the other junk. So instead of focusing out there, because I was always like kind of like a controlling person, I felt I had so many anxieties in my life, so many fears and anxieties that I felt like I had to control this and control that, and make sure everything is to stay right, you know. Now it's exactly the opposite. Like, I don't care what's happening over there. I am going to take that inward towards me and control what is affecting me. You know, so my mental, it's cleared up now. It's like, oh, this feels better when I'm doing this than that. My thinking ability is so much easier when there's a negative things in my mind, or painful trauma, you know, memory or something that comes to my mind. It's so much easier. It's like, okay, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to shift it to this. It's so much easier. I don't have to sit there for 2-3 hours and just bog myself down and, you know, no, it's done. It's gone. God's going to take care of it. I am going to go forward. A lot of those decisions have gotten so much easier for me to make, you know, regarding food, regarding thinking, regarding energy and what to do, and, you know, what to get up and do every day. So many things have gotten so much easier. So, yeah, instead of focusing on controlling other things, no, I'm going to focus and control here, my body, and get my wellness, my health, my mind, my emotions. And then when I'm balanced, then I feel like I can deal with the other things in much better way, you know. So I don't know if it makes sense to other people, but this is what.
Oh, it does immensely. So we have about 15 minutes left on the live. You know, I try to do for like about 2 hours. I figure that's a pretty good amount of time. Okay. So I love that you were, you know, that you had so much story, so much exuberance. And I'm going to use that word for you for now on, exuberance.
Thank you.
It's a good word.
I'm holding myself down. I'm not like jumping like for for me. It's
But
like
you know what? There's
I'm trying
two to me. There's two different kinds of crazies. Okay, there's the crazy that you are. Okay, and I say that with love. Okay, where it's like you're full of happiness. You're full of like you're beaming. You're beaming like
thank
you
you.
know. And then there's the crazy of I hate life. This is horrible. I just that crazy of like bah humbug type thing. And it's like you're like kind of like you're crazy. Why are you even coming out of the house? Because stay away from me.
Yeah.
And you're obviously the first one. You're obviously the former, and but I'm gonna actually I'm gonna see if I when I froze before, it's because I actually tried to copy the link um, for people to come on if they want to.
Oh,
Unfortunately, no. Okay, it didn't work, so I have to kind of erase all this out. So I don't. I'm a little scared to do it this time. So we're going to just continue to talk
okay.
because I don't want me to freeze again for a good reason. Um, I'm sure you understand that. I'm sure
Yeah,
everybody
I
understands
need to
that.
get me a laptop. I
I
can.
have to get this computer is about 25 years old or so, about 20, 25, and it works well enough, for me to do what I do, but it's just the memory is just eroding, and I think, and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
I think if I sound like I'm bragging, I apologize. But I think I'm growing a little bit more than I expected to, you know.
you're doing great.
And
You're doing great, Tom. It's
thank
amazing.
you. I appreciate it. And it's amazing I'm growing as well as I am with the equipment I have,
Yeah. Well, when there's
And
a will, there's a way. That's one
yeah,
thing.
and I know like right now my focus was saving for Boston,
Yeah.
and I might even do the Syracuse trip. I'm not sure yet
Wow.
about that. So I mean, because they're both in the area, they're both like nearest to me. Not near. I mean, they're like I would not want to walk it even if my legs were good. Okay, it's like but it's still like within like the train and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm gonna put this out there. I am willing to go to every single meetup. It's just gonna be a lifestyle kind of for a while. I feel like I want to do that because I want to be an encouragement. I want to volunteer as much as I can wherever there's meetups, especially with the Healing Humanity. When they're
yeah,
there,
with Carrie.
if there's somebody out there that want to do this, we'll just get a car and then just go from place to place with a suitcase. I'm willing to do that and then share the cost.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I was just gonna put out there if someone is willing to do that.
And I'm sure. Okay, I mean, it's not up to me to say this, but I'm almost sure that if you're going to almost every one of them, I'm sure Carrie will take advantage of you helping them out and stuff like that in whatever way you can.
I am willing to help volunteer completely.
Yeah.
Any way I can help heal humanity and meetups, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Like, even if it means greeting people at the door with your exuberance, again, I'm using that word.
Sometimes people get wore out from my
like, oh my God, it's Helen. I get to meet her at the door. He's giving my name tag and everything.
I don't know. I probably scared them.
No, I think if they expect you, if they knew who you are.
I tell people, look, I'm not on drugs. Honest to God, I don't take any drugs.
Well, actually, that's wrong. You're on the carnivore drug.
Yeah, I guess there's something that makes it that. I was like, no, this is just from my food, what I eat, and salt water. It's amazing. It gives me energy. Sometimes you feel down, just take a little bit of salt and put under your tongue and it gives you energy. My body's that way. I heard somebody else is that way a couple of days ago. It's like, that's all I need, just a pinch of salt and it brings me my energy back. And I've always been a salt person all my life, but I didn't know how much more I needed until now.
Right.
So
Okay, so Terry Sue entered the chats.
Hi, Terry.
So now, do you know who most of these people are? You've seen them before, right? Like on Mitch and stuff like that. Okay, I just
Yeah.
want to. All right. So that being said, that probably means there's other people around. We have about 10 minutes left on the live because I figure 2 hours is pretty good, and most people don't even last 2 hours, so that's pretty cool. And I'm actually like I said, I had last time I had Amy Hosp, which I think everybody saw that,
Yeah.
and she was interviewing from right on the other side of her steering wheel.
Right.
And
She was funny.
she was being framed.
I know she was funny.
Actually, I gotta put this on stage. I've got another person on, and I was just about to talk. Next guest in 2 weeks on July 2nd is going to be Lexis Jones, which we have met in Healing Humanity. That's Lexi.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Healing
she's precious.
Humanity. So
Yeah.
I'm looking really forward to Lexi coming on
Yeah.
in about 2 weeks. I think she's going to have a wonderful story as well. And then
Yeah.
from on the 16th will be a really special guest. Not that everybody else isn't really special, but Coach Alyssa, Miss E, from Steak and Butter Gang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
she's
know.
actually.
I was in that group for a while, but there was just so much that I was watching. It just got so much that I couldn't keep up. So
Yeah.
I stopped with that one yet. I might join again. I'm not sure yet, but
Okay. Yeah, she's wonderful. She really is.
okay.
She's like one of those people that you see her and you feel the kindness from her. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes.
And just put this out there, people. I want to keep on doing this. Right now, I'm doing it for every 2 weeks for 2 reasons. One, I only get about 5 hours on with the free service. I only get 5 hours per month. So I figure if I do 2 a month, that allows the people to have at least 2 hours. If I go a little over, then that's fine too. But I figure it gives a fairness. But if I could give people 2 hours, but do it every week, that'd be great. The thing is, I need to have people to be able to interview. Like the whole purpose of this is to interview. And and I do my 11 a.m.s, and I allow people to come on here on the other StreamYard, and that one gives me a little bit more time and everything like that. And I might end up switching everything over there, but eventually I'm going to have to pay for it, in order to get some things that's going on, and there's just certain things I'm missing from having a freebie, and everything. So that's why I'm saying share this, because of that reason and all that. And
one more thing I really wanted to say before it's over. The wonderful thing about carnivore, once you know about it, you cannot unknow about it.
That's true.
Right?
You can't unbreak the egg,
Yeah. No, and especially when you have experienced the healing, when you have experienced that goodness, just keep in your mind, remember that feeling of peacefulness, of healing, of goodness. So a lot of times people's like, oh, I fell off, for this and that. It's like, it's okay. Just get on again. Just get on again. You know what to do. Just do it again. Just start again, So that's one thing about with carnivore. I'm just so glad, because the first few months, every now and then I would slip. Every now and then, things would happen. It wasn't like major, maybe for a day or two at the most, but it wasn't like for a whole week. And I knew, because of my healing, I couldn't afford to lose that healing and that feeling. And so that's one thing. It's like, you know what to do, just do it. Don't get discouraged. Just keep on keeping on. Just keep on keeping on. And if you're not losing, some people get discouraged about not losing weight. Don't get discouraged. It's okay. Just trust the process. Tell your brain over and over and over, trust the process. Trust the process. And little by little, you're building in your mind, you're building that way of thinking, the positive way of thinking, the way of a healthy way of thinking for your own good. You see what I mean? And so that's one thing I kept telling myself. I am a millionaire. When I wake up in the morning, honest to God, I feel like I tell myself, and I know I am, because you know what? I'm not depending on pills. I'm not dependent on doctors. I don't have pain. I don't have anything that's holding me down. I feel free. The whole world is open in front of me. You know, there's just like there's nothing that's preventing me from doing anything I want to do. That's what a millionaire is. You know what I mean? When I could eat the best food, you know, and it's like, so when you get yourself in that way of thinking, the right way of thinking, the positive way of thinking, the healthy way of thinking, and then it will work your body. Like, I lost my weight. Now, it was a dream always for me, way before, that I would go back to 110 pounds, which was my teenage weight. I never dreamed about it. It's like, there's absolutely no way I'll ever get back there. Guess what? I am at 110 pounds, and sometimes even below that. And it's just like, wow, you know, that was like the icing on the cake, really, honestly. So things will get better and better and better. And then when you're there, it's like, wow, it's there, you know?
Yeah. So Carnivore Cash just joined. This is actually the first time I think Carnivore Cash has ever been on here. So welcome.
Hey, Carnivore Cash!
To this. And you know, it's funny, it's like I believe in well, I don't know if I know so much if I believe in it, but it's helped me along the way. Is one of the reasons why I used to go to the candy store downstairs is if for a long time, when my mom passed away, when I had the problems with my alcoholic roommate and my feet and everything like that, I used to get a brownie and a cup of coffee down there. And if you give them the 15% tax, it comes to 444. So, you know, the angel numbers and everything like that. Well, Carnivore Cash just came on. He did two other messages after. He's from I'm not sure if Carnivore Cash is a male or female, so I do apologize. But Carnivore Cash comes from Minnesota.
Okay.
So, in case anybody is wondering. But the first one that Carnivore Cash has sent came up at 5:55 p.m. So I'm gonna think of Carnivore Cash.
I think I watch his video.
Carnivore Cash is a guy.
Yes, it's a guy. Yes. And
okay.
He's doing
so
great.
I will check out your channel, Carnivore Cash, and if you have one, and all that stuff. But how lucky is that it comes up 555? You know, and
yeah.
You know,
and he talked about 444.
Yeah. And everything. And I found out 333 means the Holy Trinity.
Right.
You know, but Aaron's here. Booby Goats.
Hey, Booby Goats. I love that name. That's so cute.
But yeah, I mean, this whole thing is like just totally amazing. But Lexi said that she just put out a video.
Yeah.
And she said, please be kind. And believe me, Lexi, I don't think anybody here is going to be unkind to you. So I don't think you have anything to worry about with that. Yes. Now I can't speak for the a-holes that are out there in the world, but that's what they are. They're a-holes, and they are speaking from they're not speaking from logic, and they're not speaking from, you know.
And honestly, the carnivore community, I went to my first ever meetup up in Seattle. Oh my word. They were the nicest, kindest people I have ever met. It was so amazing. The whole day was full of just pure goodness. There was so much laughter. There was so much love, kindness, acceptance, learning, giving and taking, hugs. It was amazing. it was literally felt like, to me, it was a glimpse of heaven. That's why I want to go to every single meetup. It was so like just goodness. It was just beautiful, incredible people. So Lexi, don't worry about carnivore people. 99.9% want healing for ourselves, want healing for you. So keep on going. Don't look back at any negative things. Just ignore it and keep on going forward. So,
and I can't wait to have you, Lexi, on in 2 weeks. I know it's going to be wonderful, and everything, and everybody definitely tune into that, because I think I really do. I think Lexi's a miracle in herself, and,
yes.
And everything.
Yes.
So, so Carnivore Cash is he's 62, so he's 10 years older than I am, and he recovered from pre-diabetes in 4 months when I started carnivore, and he just hit his high school belt size first time in 40 years.
Woohoo! So, you go.
Yes. It's funny. I got a great. I get a lot of generosity. I've gotten like lots of like buy me a coffees and stuff like that, and I'm so grateful. And I'm like just pretty much saving the money for something that I want to do for maybe get the computer or whatever. Just keep on. And so I'm very grateful, extremely grateful for all that kindness. But I have one person in particular that actually has bought me things outside of the buy me a coffee, and that is Terry B. Teresa. Oh. He actually bought me one of those smart scales.
Oh, that's great.
Renvo smart scales. Now, funny thing is, I've tested it. I don't test it every day because I just don't really look at my numbers. It's just not me, anymore. But I do, like when I go take a shower or something like that, I'll try to grab it and test it. And I lost 2 pounds this whole time. Like I haven't lost, like if you look at the scale, I haven't really lost any weight. But the thing is, I've gained muscle,
Right.
and the thing is, I had to have done something, because who goes from a 44-inch waist to a 40-inch waist and it's not losing weight? It just doesn't make any sense. So I know it's recomposition,
Yes.
And everything, and it's just, so thank you again, Terry B, for that, and for the comic book that she bought me, actually, that was written by Amy Hosp and Lynn.
Okay.
So she got me that. So if I ever go to a meetup with Amy, I'm definitely getting Amy to sign it. Like I'm pretty much protecting the book, and I'm not even like, I'm like just kind of like very carefully like looked inside, but I'm like, okay, I do not want to bend these pages. I do not want to ruin it, because for that particular reason,
Yeah.
But and I don't have kids or anything like that, and all my nieces and nephews are fully grown. My niece is turning 21 next month.
Oh, wow.
My nephew graduated this week from high school. So and that's a very nice thing for you to say, Lisa. I'll take that as a huge compliment, that I'm like a teddy bear that just look at me and I calm your nerves. Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's so sweet.
I've never heard anybody say that about me, but okay.
She said it is true. Yes, definitely.
So this was really exciting. I wish it could keep on going. I really do, but I know we all have our lives and stuff like that. And Carrie Mann there's it for you and me, Helen. I don't know if you are going to it or not, but as soon as I hang up, I'm going to first cook my roommate his dinner, and then and while I'm waiting for it, I'm going to log on to the Zoom call with Carrie, because he's doing one right now as we're speaking. So I don't
Okay.
know if you were aware of that or not, but and as
Yeah.
much
Well, keep an
honored I
eye
am,
competition they're talking about. Keep an eye about the competition with Maggie. I want to see how they're gonna do that competition, and then
yeah.
I want another competition. I want to get into. They say that
Oh,
kilts
you're
have
doing.
more energy than me. No, I have more energy than kilts. So
Well, I
I
think
want to
that
do something
I
about.
think there's a law, at least with the women. I think there's a law, and I'm making a joke here. Okay, so I'm going to put that out there. Okay, but I think there's a law that when you become a carnivore coach,
Yeah.
right, you have to have really big muscles in your arms. They have to be like huge guns, and you're getting there. So maybe you should become a coach because
Yeah, I'm getting there.
you're getting to that stage. Because have you ever known like Coach Lisa Pickard and that lady that was on Kilts the other day, and there's like a couple other ones that have big guns. They're like huge.
I'm
You know,
6 years old. I'm like, I never ever had this kind of this. I never had this kind of muscle before. I'm
yeah.
like, this is insane.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
serious. I don't
I
work
don't know
out.
how. I don't know how big. I
Yeah,
got a
I'm
little
thinking
bit there.
about
You're
finding.
definitely bigger than I am, but
Yeah, I'm
But
thinking about finding somebody to like a body trainer, somebody to help me train a little bit because I feel like I can beat kilts
yeah,
with my
and
energy.
you know what? You probably could. You know, I would love to see you with Caleb.
Oh, we did that. That was so much fun.
And doing the arm wrestling.
That
That
was
would
so
be
much fun.
yes. That would be. I'd love to see a video of that. Like
I don't know if they did a video, but I know I did it.
but just the concept of seeing it would be.
It was
But he's
so
been
much
doing it for
fun.
everybody. He's been doing videos like. You ever see his shorts where he does like um that grip strength
Yeah,
or anything like he did
he's
with Kilts, he
amazing.
did with
Yeah,
Carrie, he did with Adam. Yeah,
he's
I haven't
amazing.
seen one with Dr. Baker yet though, but I'm sure he'll have
Yeah,
that, or if he hasn't put it out already. But
yeah.
so I keep on trying to I don't want to end this. I really don't. And but like I said, um, it's just I'm just like reading a little bit. Lexus Jones, is that your YouTube channel, Lexus? Oh, she can email me if that's your YouTube channel. So
Okay.
that's fine. So Carnivore Cash subscribed to her channel, so yeah, I'll look it up. I don't know if I don't know if I knew that you had a YouTube channel, so I'm going to make sure I get it. I watched that video, and I will get if I give you any comments, Lexus, it will be nothing but compliments. I'm absolutely sure. But I am so over the moon right now. This has been the best. Like if I don't get at least 1,000 views, 1,000 likes, then I'll be totally.
It's been fun. I really appreciate you inviting me. I appreciate everybody that sat here with us and gave me all those good questions. And I appreciate just the camaraderie and just the encouragements and the community. It's just amazing. I don't want to live any other life, honestly. It's just been amazing. I feel like I have family members, all over, everywhere. Like when I think of Terry, Teresa, I'm thinking of Lewis up in New York. I'm like, man, these is people like that I can get along, that we could sit down, we could talk, we could eat together and have a good time. So, yeah. The same thing like Amy or Nurse Lynn or, it's just amazing. Such amazing people. You kind of disappeared for a little bit.
Guess what just happened again?
Yeah, I saw.
I've never had this happen so many times. It's. I'm not going to say it's embarrassing because I can't help but laugh at it.
We understand, yes.
Yeah. And it probably would have been even more embarrassing if I was by myself. Because I'd be like, where did Tom go? I mean, I feel like Mitch, you know. Abracadabra, where'd he go? But so I had a great time, Helen. I hope you had a good time. I think you did.
I did too. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, anybody that wants to come on here, we set up something, okay, and tell your story.
Yes.
You know, but you can ask Helen, you can ask Amy. You know, it's you know, if you don't want to tell your story, that's fine. This is just your platform. You know, if you want to talk about how to make butter bites, then talk about how to make butter bites. You
Right.
know,
Yes.
and that's all. I just want you to be able to talk and to be able, so people can be like, I love Helen, and I can relate to her. You know, and just to know who these people are, and that's all I want. I want this. I agree with Dr. Tilt immensely. It's our, and that's why I'm on so many interviews myself. I mean, so far I've been on about 13 interviews. You know, only one is yet to come out. You know, but I've been, you know, I've done so many of them, and it's not because I'm trying to brag. I'm trying to, you know, like I'm trying to get famous or anything like that. It's not that. It's that I just feel that my story, and even if I've been on one channel, like one thing, doesn't mean that everybody's seen that. But if I go on another one, then that means that person's channel will see what's going on.
Right.
And yes, you get negative responses. I had one guy told Carrie one time that they should put a disclaimer out for me because I'm too depressing. You know, and I knew it was crap, you know, but I laugh at that, you know, because my life was depressing, you know, but I have to tell it in order to tell you all the good that's going on. You know, it's like you have to hear the crap in order to, yeah, it's a whole package. And if you can't take that, then I'm sorry, you know.
Yeah.
But
you know, like when Lynn, when she told us her story, Nurse Lynn, with her, you know, she had to check into a mental hospital because of the mast cell activation syndrome. You know, small mass, whatever. When I started listening to her, I'm like, that's what happens to me for years. But if she didn't tell her story and her symptoms, I wouldn't have known.
Right.
This is what I suffer from and suffered for years. So telling your story, there's got to be something in there, because every one of us is very special. Every one of us is very peculiar. Every one of us is totally different than others. Telling your story, you never know what person is going to hear your story somewhere in the world, and it would be touched by like what you say, and healed or changed or completely like enlightened like I did. So tell it. I highly encourage you. Anybody that doesn't matter, don't think like, oh, I didn't have the extraordinary big story about this and this and that. You never know. Your story can be big to somebody out there.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think, again, I think that Dr. Kilt has it on the button. It's our stories that's going to really help spread the word of carnivore.
Yes.
You know, and you told your story today. At least I hope you were able to tell your full story. And you want to hear something funny? I'm going to go off the topic just for 1 second. Remember I said about I wasn't going to take any insulin if it went over 150.
Yeah.
You know. Well, ever since I said that, my sugars are going down now.
Good.
So I still don't have to take any insulin. So,
yes.
So I mean, that's, you know, from 11 o'clock in the morning yesterday. So it's over 24 hours since I've taken insulin.
All right.
Of any kind.
Yes.
So now I don't know if that's something that's like, hey, that's going to stay this way, or if we're going to have like bouts of having to take it. But you know, it's just this whole thing. It's like, just wow, you know. I mean, obviously, I have my NSV for Saturday when I go into FBG, you know, because I definitely will tell this to them, you know, and I find you to be my NSV, you know, that I was able to have a wonderful guest on my
Thank you.
channel, you
Appreciate
know,
it. And just keep listening to your body and make up your mind.
yeah,
Make up your mind. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to do well. What we speak, we like, when God said, let there be light, and there was light, God created us in his image. It's not that I'm going to say, oh, I can create the world or anything. No, for me, for my body, I'm going to speak goodness. I'm going to speak life. I'm going to speak healing. And the more you set your mind on thinking that way, speaking healing, it literally would happen. And our words can go long ways, and they can bring us blessings or cursing. So try to train your body and your speech. This is
and
what's going to happen.
I still believe, you know, like with close people close to us, they don't hear what we say, you know,
Right.
and but they see how we're doing, and they
Yeah.
watch us. I mean, especially our children. I don't have any children, but especially children, they watch us, you
Right.
know, and you know, and everything, and they question because of what they've been taught and everything. And a lot of it's they were taught by their parents and stuff like that. They were taught by you know by my niece and nephew and everything like that.
Yes.
And but the thing is, it's like just keep on showing them, keep on getting better, focus on yourself, focus
Yes.
on your healing, you know, tell your story. If somebody offers to let you go onto their channel, no matter how big or small it is, or how big or small you feel it is, even if you don't know who the person is, you know, you never know. That person might have a lot more clout than you think.
Yes.
And just tell your story. That's
Yes.
all it is tell your story. And you know, and I hope that this word goes out, um
I
and
hope so
everything.
too.
And you know, if you just stay on for just a couple of minutes, Helen, after I close off, and um
I like what Carnivore Cash just wrote. That's really,
but
that,
I have become a carnivore evangelist.
yes.
There are so many parallels between faith and food. All the
Yes. Yes.
carnivores I mend have um, have the best attitude. Oh, I meet. I'm sorry. I said men, but I meet have the best attitude, and you're absolutely carnivore, Cash. He said just another thing too. Um, I talked to a guy a month ago, and he just sent an update. I feel like a new man. You were right, he said. You know,
Yes.
and I want to put this out there. I know that we were you I Carnivore Rick, yeah, Carnivore Rick, Rick Charger Mopar, and he has a different aspect, but he still has a great story.
Yeah.
In itself, you know, 41 years being a carnivore, that in itself is like,
Amazing.
you know,
Yeah.
he, you know, I want to put this out there, Rick. I know that we had that small, like the first live where you and Aaron and my niece were actually on the live. So you actually met one of my family members, and but I always felt it was a little unfair that I didn't do you by yourself, where you were able to tell a little bit of your story, just like Helen's doing right now. Just like, so I'm putting this out there that if you want to set up a time for us to do exactly what we're doing, I'd love to have you on solo. Okay. And Aaron too. I'd love to have both of you on solo to be able to tell your stories just like everybody else, has already. So I'm just putting that out there right here. And Helen's my witness that I actually did put that out there. So, so I'm going to end the call now. It went a little over, but I'm happy it went over. I'm fine with that. You know, if StreamYard wants to charge me for it, which they're not going to, but if they want to, that's fine with me. I will prick blood in order to, in order to take care of it, not that I'm going to, but I would if I had to.
Inviting me. It was a pleasure. It was a blessing.
Yeah.
Really.
So everybody, this is Target Prime Rib. Oh, not that we don't already know, but where can we find you in the real world?
Okay, so I am All4JesusCarniore, my YouTube channel. It's not anything professional or anything perfect. I just go there and jabber and talk about my experience. So I hope you like what I talk about.
Have you seen my videos? They're not perfect.
You encouraged me to do it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You were one of the people that encouraged me, and so I appreciate you too. So yeah.
Well, yeah, you're probably thinking to yourself, like, if he can do it, then I think I can do that. Just joking.
You were an encouragement.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that.
So there's the number 4, ALL, and the number 4.
And if, in case, I did put the link in not the comments, but I did put the link in the description of this live. So just go on there, and it's actually going to be in there. That you can just click on it and go right to it. Subscribe.
Appreciate it.
Like I said, share this. Okay, it's very important because I want to get Helen's word out as much as we can, and actually share. Go back to Amy Haas and share. I didn't say this last time, but share her video too. Like, let's spread the word. On this, and everything like that. And if there's people you're afraid to have it see, well then fine. Either roll the dice and let them see it, or just delete them from seeing it. It's not that hard or that difficult of a concept,
Yeah.
But just to it's just amazing. So I got to end this before we go to like 8 hours. I think I'm doing Rick. I'm learning from you. Oh my god. All right. So this is Target Prime Rib. As I always say, over and out.
Take care, you all. Blessings.